Hello readers, welcome back to PJL Books and welcome to today's Showcase. It's fitting that I start off Season 2 of Showcase with the same author I started Season 1 with, Jonathan Stroud. This time around, we are looking at his standalone novel, Heroes of the Valley. I consumed the Bartimaeus trilogy like a man starved. I had never known a story so gripping, thrilling, intriguing, and downright funny all at once. Naturally, when they came to an end, I clamoured for more from this extraordinary, unbelievably underrated author. I have Buried Fire and The Leap on my shelf, books that predate the Bartimaeus trilogy, but I was most interested in seeing where Stroud would go after the fact rather than before. It was a long wait. 2005 to 2008 to be precise. What was taking so long? Was Mr. Stroud struggling with ideas, or just perfecting his creation no matter how long it took? It was impossible to tell at the time. So when I finally got a copy of Heroes of the Valley in my hands, I was both excited and nervous about reading new material from Stroud at last. Well, it became quickly apparent that the answer to the previous question is yes. He took his sweet time crafting this book to perfection. At first, the book throws you off balance. It reads nothing like Stroud has ever written before. The Bartimaeus trilogy was busy, chatty, adventures filled with events and colourful characters, but this standalone is something smaller, quieter, a bit more ponderous. There's an old-fashioned, sweeping, epic quality to Heroes of the Valley that echoes similar fantasy epics in style, most obviously Lord of the Rings. So while it certainly didn't feel like classic Stroud prose, it is nonetheless impressive, different, and an indication of just how talented and flexible he is as an author. But it's not all new. What is classic Stroud here is just how criminally good the story and setting is. The world of the Valley is brilliantly realised in an evocative prose that, for me, brought back memories of the time I hiked around the Lake District in Scotland. The stark beauty, the harsh weathers, the looming hills and mountains. The settlements, houses, farmlands and valley folk too give off the vibe of Scandinavia in the Iron Age. It's all fantastically evoked. You can almost smell the horse manure. But the real crux of where Heroes of the Valley either fell or flew was in the story, and I am happy to say that it's as good, if not better, than anything he's ever produced, and believe me, that's saying something. The plot twists, turns, and leaves you guessing right up to its climax, which is breathtaking to say the least. You honestly have no idea where Stroud is leading you to with this story. This is one of those precious stories that will have you squirming with delight as you cook up theories in your head as to what is going on and why, made all the better by the fact that the truth tops anything you came up with. All the thrills, scares and laughs that made his previous work so brilliant are all present and correct and in place, yet they maintain a feel of freshness, that this is a beast of a book in its own right. And of course, Hallie is an anti-hero who is as complex as they come. This ain't no pretty boy Mary Sue who has strangers fawning at his feet. Oh no, far from it. I dare you not to punch the air when he succeeds, as well as feel for him in his darker moments. Heroes of the Valley is precisely what I'd hoped for, which was ironically nothing like what I'd expected. It's everything a fan of Stroud and, quite frankly, downright awesome storytelling could ask for. And yet, it's so different, layered, and thought-provoking that you can see why it took so long to write. Now, it's not perfection. I mean, what is? For example, one of the weaknesses of this story, I think, is that as a standalone novel, it is tasked with beginning developing and ending a fantasy epic in one go. Not an easy task. Now, Heroes of the Valley handles it quite amicably, but after you reach the back cover, you can't help but wish that there were more to it. More pages, or more, to get into, a second book to really get to grips with the numerous houses and really beef up Hallie's journey through the valley. But this is scarcely a complaint. If anything, it's just one more thrilled Stroud reader who clamours for more. Thank you once again, Mr. Stroud, for taking me places beyond my dreams. And that's it for today's showcase. Thank you very much for listening, readers. The written version of this is on my website, the link of which is in the description below, so please check it out. Thank you very much for listening, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.